Hey guys, just finished watching Legend of Tomorrow, Season 3, Episode 1, Aruba. This episode was fun. I mean, it was interesting jumping into it because I was thinking about this whole thing before going into that and thinking about this after watching yesterday, watching The Flash and stuff like that and seeing the Arrow trailers and stuff and thinking about Legend of Tomorrow and how everything they just did in this, in the end of Season 2, how they broke time. And then thinking back to how on The Flash, the beginning of Season 3, he runs back in time, creating Flashpoint, and changes events, and then comes back, changes it back, and some things are permanently changed. Like Diggle no longer has Sarah, his daughter, he now has Diggle Jr. and stuff like that. So I think that's interesting with that. But then having this show going back in time and having it not affect the Flash or Arrow or anything like that, the way this, even though it's in the same universe, same timeline, stuff like that, it's a bit confusing how one thing, Barry can run back in time and it'll affect Arrow too, it'll affect both shows, but yet the Legends do all kinds of stuff and nothing affects Flash or Arrow and stuff. So I don't know, I would just like to see the big season finals, the season cliffhangers and things that we get from this have those effects go over to Flash and Arrow and stuff like that to make this thing feel a little bit more connected to it. I mean, in the beginning of this episode, you had Wally West in the episode, so why not also have the episode affect things here and there? Now, I understand the whole point in this. We start off with this episode. We have Rip Hunter making the time bureaus and all that stuff and fixing things. So maybe that's why there's no effect. And we haven't seen Arrow yet. We haven't started season 6 yet. So there could be something there that affected someone. But I don't know. It's interesting to see all this stuff happening and never having it affect Arrow and Flash. But getting into this episode on its own, it was quite a fun. It was seeing the different teams and seeing the team go around and doing different stuff like that. It was quite interesting. It was cool. I like the premise for this season. Dinosaurs looked pretty good with the CGI and stuff. Looked kind of fun. I just can't wait to see where things go with this. And also knowing that Constantine from the NBC show and also his appearance on Arrow and stuff will be coming in this show. Not sure at what point or stuff like that, or how long he'll be, or if it's at least one episode. We do know he'll be in one episode. Whether or not he'll become a Legends, who knows? That would be awesome. But waiting on for that. This is going to be cool to see where things go and how things build up from here. Some of the things were kind of silly, like at the beginning of the episode, why did Sarah go back and not hang out with Oliver and all that stuff? I mean, go see her father, go hang out, or even attempt to even see what Black Siren's up to. I mean, at least I don't see why she wouldn't go hang out with her father. That would be kind of, I mean, I don't know. I forget what the last thing happened with Captain Lance. Was he on the island in the end of season 6, season 5 with Oliver? I don't think so. Where was the last time we saw him? I think we saw him going into a rehab or something like that. That's the last time we saw him. He did take off. Actually, I think he took off with Felicity's mother or stuff like that. So I don't know. It just would have been nice to see her hanging out with Paul Blackthorne and having Captain Lance around her. As Quentin Lance is his full name and stuff, and see her mother and stuff like that. Why didn't she hang out with her and all that? I mean, there's just so many things that just didn't make sense why Sarah was doing that. I mean, even Ray, why isn't he not hanging out with at least Felicity or anything like that? Why is he not going back hanging out with Cisco? These shows are so interconnected. It was cool having Kid Flash in here, but there's just so many questions like, why was he here? Why was he there? I don't remember, Felicity ever running his company into the ground. Now, she wasn't taking care of it properly and all that stuff, but and I agree with all that. But I don't know. It just didn't make sense where Ray and Sarah left off, where they ended up when they went back to their own lives and stuff like that. It seemed very silly, especially Sarah having her father alive and all that stuff, and when her father loved to see her and all that stuff. I think it'd be really cool to see that. So I don't know. Hopefully we get some answers like that. See what's going on. Get a reminder where Quentin Lance is with tomorrow night's episode of Arrow and stuff. But it just seemed very weird that she would go back to. She'd go back there. I mean, least of all, she could have gone to see Nisa. I feel like Nisa could have been should have been around or something like that. That would have been interesting to see her go back to Nisa, or I don't know if she would, but I don't know. There's just so many possibilities that she would have done before just getting a random job at a store, department store. It just seems very silly. That whole part about that, it was kind of annoying. And so yeah, it was interesting seeing with this stuff and see where people went and seeing where Amaya was and stuff like that at the end of the episode, and seeing her use her powers, which is pretty cool. Seeing the different multiple versions of her powers and stuff instead of just one animal at a time, instead of using the same animal over and over again. It's nice to see them using different ones here and there and stuff like that. Hopefully that's gonna be a new theme to her with her powers and stuff, because I found with all the other seasons in her, it seemed like she was using the same animal over and over and over and over again. So I'd like to see different things for different opportunities and things like that. So it's gonna be fun to see where things go with that and how she changes throughout this. So it's gonna be fun to see where things go. Excited for this season, but I'm really excited to see what happens on Arrow and stuff. But I just wish there was a more connection, and the follow-up from this show affected the other shows a lot more than it does. Now I understand there's the whole, well, what about the people who don't watch this show and they're just watching Arrow and Flash, and they just I say screw them. I say just focus on the people who are watching all four and make it awesome for that. Make it worth your while. I mean, I don't know. I just like to see little things, this show affect Flash and Arrow, because then doesn't feel like there's no any consequences. The consequences would be much bigger if it affected the other shows and stuff like that. And that would be very interesting to see. Oh, how is it going to affect this? How is it going to affect that? That's going to be really cool. I mean, there's so many little things, just like how Barry, when he back in time, again, he changed Diggle's kid from a girl to a boy type of thing. So I think little things like that would be so cool to see. I mean, it would be interesting to see how things affect time-wise and all that stuff. It would be really cool. So it is interesting. It is an interesting idea what they're going with this season. Definitely can't wait to see where things go with it and how things change and stuff. And where do we see, where do we pick up Constantine at whatever point we do that, which I think they're finishing up filming the crossover as we speak. So I feel like he would probably be after the mid-season, whatever the mid-season break, stuff like that. So maybe right after or just after, something like that. We'll have to wait and see, depending on when we start seeing, set photos of him in costume and things like that, or if we get any, or if they announce when he'll be around and stuff. So we'll have to wait and see whenever that happens, but it's definitely going to be fun to see where things go with this. So let me know what you think, guys, about Legend of Tomorrow Season 3 Episode 1, Arubicon, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
I'm Captain America, here to talk to you about one of the most valuable traits a soldier or student can have.
Subscribing.
Sometimes subscribing is the key to victory. Sometimes it leads to very little, and it seems like it's not worth it. And you wonder why you waited so long for something so disappointing. How many more of these?
You're still here.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Peace.
It's over.